varnishing.com, and I'm here again today in my studio to share a great Halloween craft for you. What I'm going to make is a little display to sit right inside my front door, and it's going to sit on the floor, and I'm going to take these little dowels and make them into brooms, and so it'll be a little display that says Broom parking. It'll be super cute. Okay, so here's what we're going to need. We're going to need 2 of these dowels that will be our broom handles. I think these are, how big? 3/4 of an inch by 3 feet long. So you need 2 of those. You'll need some kind of a base. I got this oval plaque, and this is going to be big enough for my brooms, like to hold both of my brooms up, basically. This is my base. You'll also need a plaque to hang on it and say broom parking, and that's where this wavy one comes in. You will need 2 different colors of tulle to be the straw on your broomsticks, and so I got orange tulle and this green glittery one. And then you'll need your paint. So I'm going to be painting everything black, so I have a nice full bottle of that. And then on my broom parking sign, I'm going to do a crackle effect. So I've got this crackle medium, and then my top color is going to be white. You'll need paintbrushes, of course, and then I've also got a matte varnish to give it a nice finished look. Later on, you'll also need a drill and a paddle bit, and the same size as your dowels, but we'll get to that. For right now, I'm going to paint everything black. That's going to be my base coat. So I'll paint all that, and then on just my sign, I'm going to, once the black is thoroughly dry, I'll then paint a layer of this crackle medium on it. Just one thin layer, brushing all in one direction, and then once that's dry, it'll be time for our next step, which I'll show you as soon as I get caught up here. When the crackle coat is finished, you can see it just kind of looks a little bit glossy still, but it is all the way dry. It's important to let it dry thoroughly. And so now I'm going to take my white and you kind of get one shot at this. So make sure your brush is loaded with color, or your thumb too if you're me. And then you just get one swipe, and whatever direction you paint is the direction the crackles will run. So you don't want to do circles or anything like that. Oh dear, I guess I'm painting there now. So once it starts to crackle, don't touch it. You'll muck everything up. So you want to get one thick coat on in a hurry. With a paddle bit the same size as your dowels, drill a hole to fit each one of your brooms. I drilled one so that it would be standing straight up and down, and the other I tried to come in at a bit of an angle so that it would look as if the broom was leaning over. Don't drill all the way through your base, just enough to secure the dowels with some wood glue. Okay, total keeping it real moment here. I might have messed up my drilling a little bit. But that's okay. See, this is what I wanted to show you. All those people who say, oh, I'm not creative. Guess what? Everybody screws up and you just keep on moving. So I'm gonna just paint this black and it'll be covered by the skirt and it won't matter at all. But I wanted to show you that, see, look, mess ups happen and you can live through it. Okay, so I'm now going to take my very messy holes I drilled and smother them with wood glue. I'm being very generous with my wood glue so that it could help me cover up my my botched drills. Okay, so here's my dowels, and I'm just going to stick them in there and kind of wedge them in. Okay, so I'm just going to need this glue to dry so that it will be stable, because obviously my holes alone is not going to do the job. I've got some crazy glue going all over the place, so I'm going to wipe that up, and then with my matte varnish, I'm going to paint the poles because I want them to look like broomsticks and not just painted dowels. So one thing I'm going to do is paint them once with a varnish, and then I'm just gonna let it drip. I wanna create little rivers and blotchy texture, and my varnish is what's gonna do that. So I'm just gonna let everything dry. I'll paint over my mistakes. I'll let the varnish happen, and trust me, it'll look way better in a second. While I let my broomsticks dry, I went ahead and finished the sign. So you can see how great that crackle ended up looking. And if you'll notice, the areas where I put it on thick, that's where it looks the best. The areas where I put it on thin, that looks kind of weak. So don't be afraid, you get one coat, so really slap it on. And then I just painted a simple black border, and these are rub-ons that you can find in your scrapbooking section for the letters, and then I drilled 2 holes through and attached a ribbon to hang it. So that's my sign, and I'll attach that in just a second. But first, I need to make the bristles, I guess you'd call them, of the brooms. So I have all of this tulle. I have a bunch in this shimmery gray color and then a bunch in this orange. And I cut them all to be about 18 inches, but I really did not get very specific with the measurements because I wanted it to look kind of rough and haphazard. I just kind of eyeballed, you know, how far up do I want the bristles to go, and I picked right about there and then cut it so that it would kind of hang down over the base. So for me that worked out to be about 18 inches, but like I said, it's not science we're talking about here. Okay, so now this part you got to be a little bit careful. This is definitely not a step the kids can help you with, but you take your hot glue gun and you just put a little dab where you want the top of those bristles, and then very carefully, because this is all covered in holes and the glue will pop right through, you stick it in. So you can see, hopefully you can see, I'm putting my finger above and I'm putting my finger below and just kind of pressing that tool into the glue. And then once it's had a second to cool down, then you can like tap it in once it gets tacky. But that, I have had more hot glue burns in my life. So trust me, you want to be very careful. Okay, so that's all you have to do. So I'm going to take a ton, I cut a ton of this tulle. So I'm going to just start going around and around each of these broomsticks and just kind of layering the different colors in. So I have a lot more orange than I do green because the green I got is sparkly. And so I'm just going to kind of mix that in among all the others just to kind of give it a little depth. And so I'm just going to go round and round and round and round and make these look like broomsticks. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. I've got my bristles all in place now with their big poofy tulle skirts. The black sticks do tend to show through, so add more layers than you think you need. Tulle's cheap, you can keep going. So then while I had my hot glue gun out, I did these tops. I think this is what really makes it look like brooms and not just weird tulle skirts. And so I just took some twine from the dollar store, I glued one end down and then wrapped it around and glued the other end in place. And so now I've got my little brooms. If you want more contrast between the two brooms, you can stick to 2 different colors, but I kind of like having the 2 little sisters. So now we're almost done. There's just one step left to do. And because of how tall these are, this might get a little bit tricky to see. So we're gonna do our best. Okay, so here at the top, I've got my sign. And what I'm going to do off camera, because this is gonna be way too much to try to get in the shot, I'll just put some glue on the top here and run my ribbon right over it. Make sure my plaque is centered. So there'll be glue holding that in place, and then once I get the plaque where I know I want it, I can put some glue right there and stick that in place as well. And then how adorable, right? Just sitting next to my front door, it'll be so cute and festive and super easy. Paint and hot glue, everybody can do this. So be brave, inject some creativity into your life today. Leave me a comment or question if you have anything and I'll help you out. And please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. I've got all kinds of great holiday stuff coming up that you won't want to miss. So thanks you guys, give it a try, and I'll see you later. Bye.